Welcome back to another fantastic day in Mitsumaru City. The last thing I did was implant these buildings from a previous thing. Can you do me a favor and just subscribe to the channel because it'll help me a lot? But today I'm going to build a new kind of house. A big one just across the road from the other two. It's right on the lake and it's going to look great. It's going to be a red house. A really big red house here. This is the materials list I'm using. Nothing complex really, but I want to do something a little bit different to the standard builds that I already do. I want to make a unique kind of house. At first I put these red blocks in and I thought, wow, this looks like a shop. And it does, but I really want to go with this to try and build up something different in the beautiful city of Mitsumaru. So I'm using the white acrylic there to level off an area where the ceiling's going to be. For the flooring, I'm going to use these market blocks, which again is very shop-like, but it does look cool. It's a very expensive house on the side of town. I'm using these red windows from the Yuushya Mod, which I never really use because they're very, very difficult to place. But in a red house, they look brilliant. Here is the mod list and the resources that I'm using. Notice how things just randomly appear? That's because I'm using the Axiom mod to paste in the first floor. That way I've got 2 floors in this house without having to spend ages building the exact same thing twice, because what's the point of that? In the middle of the house I want to have this little stairway. I think it looks pretty good like that. I've got a kind of basic idea of where I want to have things. Downstairs is going to be a living room, kitchen and a sort of open dining room. And for the inside, I've got this little idea of using the cockricotte archways. They look really good. On the staircase, I'm going to have a simple red banister that goes all the way up like that, safety first. And then upstairs is going to be a landing space, this little area here, also with a banister to make sure it's nice and safe. And I liked the idea of having a fish tank there, but it doesn't really work. And I also like the idea of having these portals again, but there's not really any privacy, is there, for the bedroom and the bathroom? So I took away that, I chipped in a simple doorway, and I separated the bathroom space and the bedroom space. It's going to have some nice simple red doors there, that's going to look brilliant. Outside I added a mailbox and a little red awning to make sure it looks a little bit cool. Then I'm going to start working on the banister upstairs and making sure that everything looks really good. For the roof, the most painful part of any building, I'm using the McCaw's red roof blocks because they look really, really good. I tried the idea of having some white acrylic there, but I think it would be better if the whole thing had a sort of red finish. So I go all the way around the edge, add this red finish, and now I can add the rest of the roof. I simply level it up using lower and upper parts of the roof blocks. It looks really good and it's slightly nested on one side. It has to go a little bit lower because the roof there has that weird L-shaped corner thing. I like having quirky designs on the roof, even though it's very difficult to deal with. So here I'm just leveling it up with the red blocks, making sure that I can put in all the bits to finish the roof. The lower parts and the upper parts go together like that. And then in the middle, I can have a simple connecting part, and the roof is done. It looks really good, doesn't it? I'm happy with that. It's fixed. Now I can show you how I add a simple drain. First, I turn one into an entity. I shift it in 4 with the X-axis, and then I press Ctrl and middle click to save the template. I've learned that recently. I repeat the process for the other bit of the pipe, and then I can just stick them in like this, no problem at all. Here I try and shift this one across, but it doesn't fit, look, it's got a weird angle. So I move that, put it over here next to it, and then I can shift it across like it needs to be 4 and then use the Z-axis and then the Y-axis to shift it up like that. Once it's finished, I can start adding the air conditioning units. I like the design of these air conditioning units, which is available as a different form using the GUI tool and the Yuushya Mod. The Yuushya Mod's had an update recently. I did a video about it, and this added these buttons. So why not put them on the red house? That looks cool. Don't dislike the video though, that's just like a cool thing. I add a little satellite there, and then I start working on the side wires to connect these 2 houses. I think it's an important thing to do to continue the flow of electricity in the city. Otherwise we're going to be out, and that solar power plant that I built a while ago is running out of juice. This is how I hang a lantern. Put in a wire, turn it into an entity, make sure I've got the lantern in my offhand. Then I go back in with the GUI tool, just position it so it's not sticking out. Again, I've got to go back in, that looks about right, doesn't it? Shift it across just a little bit, like that. Yeah, it's not sticking through. Then apply the block state that's in my offhand, bring that in so it touches the wire, then bring it down. That's good. Maybe rotate it a little bit and turn the brightness up. Then I check at night time to make sure that it's nice and bright. So here I go to the commands, type in time set day. It was already day, so try midnight. Look at that, it's nice and bright. The whole city is nicely lit, isn't it? Looks great. Now I need to start considering the inside of the house. So I've just turned it back to daytime, and I'm going to work on the living room first. I put in these red sofas, keep everything with this nice red theme, put in a giant massive TV there, and a couple of these new lights that are available on the Yuushya Mod. I put in a simple coffee table, which is quartz slabs. Then I add some simple paintings on the walls, make sure it looks lovely, put a little kettle and a tea set. Brilliant! In the bathroom upstairs, I add the marble flooring as I usually do. I stick in a bath which looks really good. I make sure there's a shower unit, a sink and a toilet. This is actually one of the better bathrooms I've ever made. Put in a couple of bathrobes and a cow skin rug on the floor. The bathroom is complete. Outside on the landing area, I start adding paintings and a few chairs. I don't want too much detail in here. It's sort of a mezzanine area where you just relax and read a couple of books. I add a little lamp that's available on the Yuushya mod and a couple of paintings. I'm going for these modern paintings which look really good, and I want to keep it kind of the same design all the way through. In the bedroom, I add a simple bed in the corner with a little table for the computer. I also make sure to add plenty of these maple plants because they look really good. At the back there, I try a few different paintings and I settle on that one. I also add a little safe up there, making sure they can have their valuables with an AC unit. That is an amazing little bedroom. Downstairs in the living room, I add a few extra details like a newspaper on a table, a bookcase, and also a little plant on a stand. Great! Once the living room's finished, which looks really good, I start working on a dining room area. And the dining room area is going to have a very simple, velvet-looking dining table with a couple of plates and red chairs round the side. Now I need to start framing the windows. I like framing the windows. The Yuushya Mod has 4 frames available, and I like to use all 4 of them to make sure that the windows have this nice-looking, simple design to make the windows pop out a little bit. You know, you're sort of accentuating the design there. It's a very easy process to do, but some entities are already in the way, like these AC units. So I have to turn the frames into entities as well, and then just shift them across using the GUI tool. It's not too difficult to do, and I quite enjoy doing the framing, to be honest with you. It's a very nice thing to do in the build. If you're liking this video, subscribe to my channel. Maybe send me a comment as well, because I'm really trying to build it up. I put in a little bookcase underneath the TV in the living room, and then I start working on decorating the kitchen area. I add a little oven, making sure to have an extractor hood, a coffee machine, a sink with a few shelves, a couple more of these wonderful maple plants, and I make sure that every detail in the kitchen is there so it looks really good. I'm happy with this, so I add a few extra paintings up, making sure that everything in the kitchen looks really good. I also add a green tea there next to the coffee machine with a few carpets. Happy days. I've got a bit of space behind this house, so I want to have a little garden. I start working on fencing off the area with this lovely little red fence that goes all the way across like this. It's going to be a small rectangular garden, and I think it looks rather spectacular. There's a clipping issue with the fences there near that tree. I don't know why. I've replaced those in a little while, it's a bit funny. I make sure to have a nice little garden area with plenty of different things like a table with white chairs around it, keeping with the theme of red and white, making sure to have a little tree there, a little garden that's a little bit overgrown, you know. I also make sure to add a little walkway as well. Everything's little here, you can see. I'm going to have this shed here, and in this shed I'm going to have a few utility things, making sure that the garden is complete with a few plants and a little bit of grass, making sure it looks nicely overgrown. Here you can see all of the plants. It's quite detailed, and I make sure to change the fence so there's no problem with it. Inside the little utility room, look, you can see a generator and a chest. Yeah, that looks good, doesn't it? Great! The house is almost complete, so what I need to do now is have a look around. So let's go on a little tour, see if I can find anything that I need to put in. One thing I did forget was a fridge, so let's search for refrigerator, put it in the taskbar a little bit. I also need to look at some of these templates. There's loads of cool looking templates there. I like this one here, look, I'm looking for a bag. So let's take the backpack. The phone, I also need that, and maybe the piano as well. This house is quite expensive, so I like the idea of having a piano. I think I'm going to put the fridge here. Yeah, that looks good. The fridge is in place, no problem. Now the backpack. Let's get this green one. Let's go against that. Could I put it there? No. I might put it in the living room near the bookcase. Yeah, that'll do. Looks good like that. Okay, so let's go upstairs and find a place for this piano. It's a really interesting place. I kind of want to have a piano in here. Maybe I can have another bag. So yeah, I need to search for backpack. There's the template. Put it here. Get rid of the other one. Maybe they can have a brown one. Not too much pink stuff, you know, always pink. Put the backpack there next to the window. Turn it into an entity, and then just shift it across and rotate it a bit, look, like that. Now it's sitting against the wall, ready for school. The piano template, let me see. I like the idea of having a brown one. Where can I put it? It's absolutely massive. I'm liking the idea of having it on the mezzanine somewhere. Downstairs, there's not much space. Where do you usually have a piano? Yeah, not here next to the dining room. I can't get through. I can't get past the chairs. Let's have a look in the living room. There's not really any space for this piano, but I definitely want to have a piano in here. This is one of those expensive houses. That would be a good space. Oh no, look at that. It's floating. I don't want to do that. Let's go upstairs, back in the mezzanine area. There must be some space. I like it here. This looks like a good space for a piano. Yeah, I'm going to stick the piano in there. Okay, well, I need to move it. So let's turn it into an entity. It's sometimes a bit funny to do. So I crouch. Then I go in with the GUI tool and I can move it. So on the Z-axis, it goes like that. And the X-axis, just to push it next to the banister there. I want to make sure that it looks good. Okay, that's about right. Yeah, there we go. The piano's in place. Yeah, that's a very good place to play the piano, actually. Let's get the phone template. I kind of want this dark brown one. I'll put a phone here. Just stick it on the wall, turn it into an entity, and then I can move it around exactly where I want it to be. I kind of want to have it here, put it into the ground a bit so it's in the arm, and then rotate it naturally just like a phone would be. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, so I've made a few edits at the end there, just to make sure that the house looks good. Let's go check the bathroom real quick. Doesn't that look really cool? That's one of the best bathrooms I've ever made. I like to make sure I close all the doors as well. I don't want to leave everything open. That would be quite ignorant of me, wouldn't it? Because the owners wouldn't be happy. Here's the garden space around the back. It does look very good and I'm happy with that. Yeah, so this has been the Red House. If you've liked this video, subscribe, send me a comment, but don't leave yet because I've got one more thing to share with you. Now is the time to start making the schematic for this building. So I've gone into the Axiom mod using right shift, and I've just using a box to select most of the area for this house. I put it in like that. Now I use the green line to drag it up, and I think I've selected everything with the house and a little bit of the river as well. I copy that, make sure I've got everything. I go back into the world. You can see me there, my little arm. That looks good. In an empty world, I go back in and I paste in the schematic. That's about right, isn't it? I think it was underground a little bit, like -1. So I put it in and then press enter to put it in, and the whole building is there with a few extra bits that I'm going to cover up, look. Going to make sure that I get rid of this water. There's no need for that. Yep, that's good. There's a few plants and things that I might have to remove. Look at this tree. I got like half of the tree. I don't want that, so I'll remove all of those things. Great. Get rid of these flowers. They're also not part of the house. Looks good, doesn't it? Now I've got this little template and world ready to save. I'm going to upload this to Ko-Fi. I'm also going to make sure to change this front bit a little bit. Get these marble cobblestones, change this bit all the way along, and make sure I just replace it like that. Great. Get rid of that one. Maybe have a little bit more fencing. Oh, that's the wrong way, so I need to put the cobblestones in there, put the fence on it, and then just remove. Yeah, there we go. That is the Red House. Might remove these little plants on the side as well, just to make sure that it's not in the way for when you get it from Ko-Fi. I'll leave those wires in so you can have a look at how I did it. If you want to use this, you need the Yuushya Mod, the Axiom mod to copy and paste, and the Coquicot mod should you want to have a look at those portals and a few other things that I've left in the building. That's done. Isn't it great? Now all I need to do is save the schematic. So once I've selected it, I go into the menu and choose Save As. Now I'm going to save this as the Red House. If you want to buy it, it's available on Ko-Fi and the link is in the description. Again, you need a few mods to get it to work, but it's all yours for a very cheap price. I'm Mitsumaru, welcome to Mitsumaru City, and let's enjoy the Red House together. This has been a fantastic build. Subscribe to my channel and send me a comment. See ya!